Hi everyone, welcome to another pick a card video on my channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay, and on this channel I do pick a card videos at the new and full moons. I'm a professional astrologer and a certified angel card reader, although now I also work with tarot. I was just trained in angel cards first. And if you're an OG to coming back to my channel, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. So I'm recording this for you on just about after the new moon was exact, which was yesterday. But as I always like to remind people, whenever we have a new or full moon, it's initiating an energetic window that lasts for 2 weeks, okay? So we will be within this cycle for the first 2 weeks of January. And you know, I always like to talk about my general feels with the current energy, and not gonna lie, today's been quite challenging. And I don't think it's too much. That's my puppers, if you hear him. He always wants to get attention right when I start recording my videos. Yeah, I don't think it's too much about the new moon in Capricorn. I think it's another astrological aspect that I'm under right now, which is temporary, but has been kind of heavy. And it's just been a lot. So I'm grateful to actually be here recording this video for you, because it was definitely a bit of a slog to get myself motivated to do this. So that's why also when you guys drop love in the comments, it really does help me be inspired and know, how these videos mean something to you, to want to come back and record more videos, because I'm over here recording them, solo. So I love hearing from you guys about how the videos help you and things like that. So yes, this new moon in Capricorn, my brain is like I've just finished recording all of my monthly membership content for my Fearlessly Fairy members and my Astro Fairy members. And then I also recorded a video for a new spiritual curriculum I've got up for sale. So I'm a little bit videoed out at the moment. But I do want to screen share and show you guys a couple of those things that I was just chatting about. So I'm going to do that quickly, just to give you guys an idea of where to find some of these new things that are going on. And the first of them is a new spiritual curriculum. It's actually a spiritual curriculum I've had up on my Etsy shop once before. Hold on one second. All right, I am back. Monty does not want me to be recording more videos either, but I've just bribed him with quite a bit of cheese. So let me show you guys what we've got going on with these new spiritual curriculums. Okay, so this is my Etsy shop. If you're not following me here, definitely head over to that. The link will be in the description of this video. It is etsy.com/shop/Julie Ann Fay Healing. I will say that Etsy's search capacity is, like, from my experience, it's notoriously really bad. So even when you search like the exact name of someone, sometimes it doesn't even come up still. So I do recommend just kind of going right to the link and clicking it from there. And favoriting my shop is a good way to support my spiritual business on Etsy as well. Even if you're not purchasing something right away, favoriting my shop will give you updates on if I do sales and just help you stay up to date with things. So my Etsy shop is organized. You can click these headings on the side here. It's organized into astrology readings, angel card readings, and spiritual curriculums, all the different ones. So right now I'm featuring, and those of you that are on my email newsletter list, you will get this beautifully packaged with all the links and everything. So I highly recommend that you're on that email newsletter list. It goes out along with these videos. And you guys can see that I'm still doing year ahead readings, okay? And then the Yule sale that I was running, which was for 30% off, that's now ended. But if you are in my membership group, if you're in Fearlessly Fairy, you can use your discount code there. If you're in Give Back Fairy, which is one of my Patreon membership groups to help support my YouTube channel, you also have a code you could use there as well on any of these things I'm about to show you. So right now I'm encouraging people to check out year ahead readings. And then also this spiritual curriculum is one that I recently redesigned, okay? And I'm really, really proud of this. It's something that I've actually worked on for a long time. So I initially designed this curriculum, and this past year, I went back in and I actually refreshed it. I kind of tweaked some of the spread ideas, but everything in this curriculum is designed by me. The spreads, I've tested them out myself, and it's all like beautifully packaged in an instantly downloadable PDF that you will get. I've also done an additional add-on with this upgrade, which is that I've recorded a tutorial video that goes along with it. And this tutorial video is over an hour and a half long. Okay, so it's pretty substantial. I would say it's worth it to even get this just to watch some of the spreads that I did, because I give you a lot of guidance around reflections about 2021 versus 2022 in that video. But this document, you know, once you have it, you have those spreads you can refer back to. You could use this on your birthday, your solar return, whenever you'd like. And I'm still kind of working out the details, but I would like people that have previously purchased it to still have access to upgraded versions. So if you buy it now at this price and then I update it, you know, you'll probably be getting it either at a really good discount, or some version of that, you know, if it gets updated and you buy it now. So I wanted to do a shout out to that. You can also read all about it here, you know, in the description of this listing, so you can check that out. And yeah, so I wanted to do a quick shout out about that. Another thing is that I've got a blog post, 5 ways to embrace your winter fairy self. And this is an oldie but a goodie on my blog. I've actually just, as of recently, gone in and can literally say it says updated a few seconds ago. I've gone in and updated this, and this has lots of wonderful tips about embracing being in a fairy approved lifestyle, okay, which to me is a lot about working with nature, helping nature, being kind to the environment and animals. And you can see a whole bunch of things about that on this blog post. Again, this will be linked directly in the email newsletter that's going out, so definitely check that out. So a couple business updates there. And, you know, as far as this new moon in Capricorn goes, I don't have too much to say about it. I'm feeling called to kind of get into some of the pile picks. But maybe I feel not as called to say that much about it because I've just gone over the full chart of that new moon in my Astro Fairy membership, which I forgot to show you guys that. I knew there was a couple things I wanted to show you, and that was one of them. So the other thing I wanted to show you is my Patreon, which again, you can find that link in the description. And I've got my membership groups now on my Patreon, so you can join right from here. So there's Fearlessly Fairy, which is just for cards, but you get a 20% off private reading discount. You get access to a Facebook group and also a journaling document. There's a private YouTube video that goes along with that with a lot of content for the month. It's really great. Then I've got kind of the astrology version of that, same price, but astrology themed. And then I've also got a tier here called Give Back Fairy, which is a small monthly fee, which is helping me with the maintenance and trying to raise funds for doing other cool things on my channel. So you can check that out. You do also get a discount code to use on my Etsy shop, even with that one. And the more people that I get to sign up for Give Back Fairy, the more I will be able to record private videos for you guys, private pick a card videos for you guys in Give Back Fairy. So I wanted to share that as well. So with all that being said, let me get into the decks that I'm going to use. I was a little bit deciding which ones I wanted to use, and kind of, there's a couple decks that I've been using almost on rotation because, like I said, I've recorded three different videos in the past, like, it's insane, but in the past 24 to 48 hours, I've recorded 2 different 1 hour each long videos, as well as another one, which was almost an hour and 45 minutes. So I am still drawn to working with those decks, but I've been working with them so much the past couple of days. So I'm freshening it up and doing a couple of other decks instead. And I will be, if they're available there, I will be linking these in the description of this video. Heads up, I'm an Amazon affiliate. So, you know, if you click through those links, it will support my spiritual business, but it's at no additional cost to you. So it's another low-key way that you can help support my spiritual business, okay? And any YouTuber that you see that has product links and it shows and it's Amazon and they're not putting a disclaimer, that's a big no-no, because they are supposed to be being honest with you if they're an Amazon affiliate or not. But it's just a little pet peeve I have. So one of the first ones I've got here is the Lenormand, the Art Nouveau Lenormand. We've got the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Monty is like at the threshold of tolerance for like me not giving him attention. So I may need to pause and be right back. We've got fairy dust here, okay, which is this little box. We've got the astrological oracle. So I'm deciding, this is also a deck that a friend gave me recently. Now, I do not do Vedic astrology, I do Western astrology, but I was actually using this for specifically the houses. There's a way that I can use this deck that still is purposeful without, so just take note, I do not do Vedic, I do Western, but I'm going to be using it in kind of my own way. And then the astrological oracle cards, I don't actually know if this one has an author listed on it. Oh, it says artwork by Antonella Castelli. Okay. And then, as I feel called, the Heal Yourself reading cards by Ina Seagal. Okay. I will be right back. Okay. My dog is very addicted to peanut butter. And when I've run out of peanut butter, he gets very sassy. Peanut butter is his #1 choice. And when I don't have it, he has things to say about it. But the good news is that usually he has a little bit of a fuss at the beginning and then he kind of settles in. So with that being said, I've shown you guys all of the decks that I'll be using. Sorry, this is like not fully focusing for me. And I'm going to queue up the 3 piles off camera, as I always do. It's just so much easier. And I will meet you guys back here shortly to help you to pick which pile you want to pick, okay? All right, let's get into our pile pick. Okay, so as I always like to remind you guys, when you're doing these pile picks, you want to make sure that you're treating this as, you know, an opportunity to connect with your intuition and to really just kind of get like some feedback about where your vibe is at. Okay, so if your intention with this video is to like discover your life purpose or get like all your life answers, like click away. That's like not why I do pick a card videos. Okay. Just this Capricorn energy's got me all being like super real. You know, and it's also why I'm always resistant to doing like super clickbaity titles on my videos, because to me, it just feels inauthentic with the reason why I do the videos. Who knows? At the time of recording this, my style may change in the future, but you know, I always feel like pick a card videos for me are find a couple pick a card readers that you value, and they can become almost like a mentor or a touchstone for you to help you reflect back information you need to hear and understand at that time. And that's the best way to use a pick a card video, is to use it as a tool and a guide and not like the main bread and butter main squeeze of how you make decisions about your life, you know. So you always want to use it as like a guide and an informative tool to help you. With all that being said, you know, it's also a great resource for you to get that uplift, that spiritual support that you need. And as I've explained before with my videos, I don't go into making this video with a specific intention. I actually do the entire video and then I replay it back because I have to go through and get all the timestamps and everything. And then, you know, I let the video kind of speak to me about what energetically is being mirrored there. And a lot of times it's something relevant to the energy of that new or full moon cycle that we're stepping into. So I let the energy kind of tell me what it is instead of going into it saying it's going to be this, which I do think makes kind of for a different experience as well. And, you know, there's many different ways to do a pile pick. So you can use your hand as a divination tool. You can just look at the timestamps and just know very clearly based on which number it is. But what I like to do is basically, you know, hold up the cards for you guys and let you pick through your intuition that way. So this is pile 1. This is the energy of pile 1. This is the energy of pile 2. And this is the energy of pile 3. All right, so we've got pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So take an extra minute or two if you need it. You're welcome to pause the video, use the timestamps, whatever you need to do to help you with your pile pick. I have some people that I know watch my videos and they just watch the whole thing, and that's totally cool too. You could use this video as just like an energy uplift and just watch the entire thing, you know. It's up to you how you want to do it. So with that being said, I'm going to roll into pile 1 and I will meet you guys at your reading. All right, pile 1 peeps, these are the cards for you. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to flip these over and acclimate myself to your energy. And I am going to pull extra cards here, but I can tell already what this is about. I know I can really relate to this energy in pile 1. It's always interesting too how pile 1 really sets the tone for what the current energy is about. It's just always that way. Pile 1 always leads the way about just like, okay, what are we present to right now? You know, okay. So we have here definitely a bit of, you know, a bit of a sluggish energy here for pile 1 peeps, a bit of a sadness. I know I can honestly really relate to this. And I see that here because from the Heal Yourself reading cards, we have sadness, literally sadness. Okay. And this is card number 5. So this is a card about, you know, 5 in numerology relates to, I have this drink that's like a spicy detox drink. And I just got like a whiff of like the real spicy part. Okay. So I probably shouldn't be drinking more of it, but nevertheless, I did. So, you know, in numerology, 5 relates to the energy of change. Okay. So there might be something here about you're desiring change. You're desiring for things to be different, for things to be better, perhaps than they are now. Okay. And maybe that's just not the reality right now. And there is a lot of sadness, you know. From that additional astro deck, I pulled Venus and I pulled Pisces. Okay, so there could be a lot of feelings that are going on. I will say Venus is at home in Pisces. So if you do have placements with like Venus and Pisces, it's a beautiful placement for Venus. But the first kind of hit I got about this was with the Venus, that perhaps there's something here where it's like this Venus retrograde, it's starting to kind of get old. You know, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm okay with it, but, you know, so you might be having a bit of a similar circumstance where it's like you're kind of tired of like spinning your wheels. You feel like you're a little bit stuck in the mud with trying to advance certain relationships forward or certain things. You know, Venus relates to money. It relates to harmony, a sense of peace, balance, relationships, material goods, all of that stuff. And then with this energy of Pisces, I'm really interpreting this as feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit out to sea here, because you do have the Neptune card, okay, with this Pisces energy. So more so on the side of Neptune, you know, there's something here where it's like, it's elusive, you know. It's interesting too, because I am drawn to the seahorses on this card. And, you know, I forget, but I'm pretty sure in nature that like seahorses are one of the animals where the male in the pairing actually carries the baby, if I'm remembering correctly. I think that the male is actually the one that like carries the baby like in its pouch. If like, I could be totally wrong with this, but I always remember it as like a really fun fact. So there could be something here where it's like, perhaps you feel unsupported in some type of way. You know, you feel like you don't have the support that you need. And we have the anchor card here, which is card number 35. So you're looking for that really strong, like divine masculine, that strength energy, you know. You're looking for that, supportive partner, or potentially, because we have, and with the Lenormand, we always read cards with a D in 2. Okay. So there's something here where it's like you're looking for that good news. You're looking for that stable, that secure news. but there's something here where it's like it's not here yet. It's kind of out to sea. And there is some sadness that's occurring as a result of that, you know. Now, this card says indecision, but I don't see this as you necessarily being indecisive. I see it more so as like, it feels like the universe is indecisive. It feels like other people involved in this situation are indecisive, that like, you know, you see that it's usually when I pull this card is very much like, yes, there's indecision, but I'm actually seeing this in kind of a different way this time, which is that like this person's looking at this tree, they see the way, but they just don't know which person they're going with on the way. You know, it's like there's other people involved in this dynamic, and they're the ones that are kind of not coming through for you with this information, with this news to make you feel secure and supported here. They're like the male seahorse that's like not doing their job there, you know? Um, so there is this kind of energy of feeling like something's missing or that you're not being supported properly. And I do think that that is bringing in a certain degree of sadness, you know, because it's like, it's just not here. And, you know, with this Venus Pisces energy over here, I also see this as, you know, Pisces is an energy about forgiveness, you know. So there might be something in this situation where you have to forgive yourself for maybe you're like beating yourself up that you feel sad. You know, today I definitely was having some depressed feelings really kind of sitting with me, and I was fighting it, and I stopped and said, you know what, I accept that this is the mood I'm in. I accept that this is how I feel. And through that acceptance, I'm going to try and do what I can do anyway, you know, and that did help me kind of get going. So I think that that energy of being willing to kind of accept things the way that they are, like accept the fact that the person just is not responding to your emails or your text or whatever it is, you know, or accept the fact that you just don't have that clarity yet, that anchor vibe yet. The anchor vibe in the Lenormand is something stable, secure, like an anchor on a ship. It like roots it right to the spot. So, and with the Stork card, this is the energy of news, information, change. Okay. And we did have this 5 here as well, which was change. So there's a really strong energy here of desiring change that feels like it's secure and stable, in order for you to continue moving forwards. You might feel very much like kind of like, you know, in limbo with this situation. And I think it's just important to remember that Capricorn moves very slowly. You know, we're in this new moon in Capricorn cycle. So it can be a very slow moving energy. If you think about like, you know, it's cardinal winter. So this is the time, like I know now, you know, I'm looking at the weather and there's a couple days here where we might get snow or sleet or different things, and that affects things, right? It slows things down. So you know, even like the trees, they go dormant in the winter time. So Capricorn is kind of on its own time. In fact, Capricorn rules time. So there's something about this situation which is kind of like not on your time, but it's on universal time. So there might be a need to kind of surrender to that. You know, Neptune is also about like God consciousness and surrender. So how can you get into certain spiritual routines that can help you with moving this energy, helping you move through these emotions, maybe having a cry about it, you know? But allowing yourself to kind of heal and forgive yourself and surrender to God through that process, I think will be really helpful. Okay, let's get an additional card here from the fairy dust. Yeah, I'm just hearing God consciousness. So how can you tap into that God consciousness, however that looks like for you, you know? Prayer, affirmations, yoga, meditating. Like there's so many ways to access that God consciousness, going into nature, spending time with animals. And you got animal healing. No matter the creature, earth, sky, or sea, animals show us how true love can be. Okay, so I see this as an indication that you do have people in your life that do love and support you and do serve as like a stable anchor. Like my Monty, like even moments where he's giving me trouble and sassing me, like, you know, it's stressful, but I would not change having him for the world. He is my everything. And every day I wake up and I'm just so grateful to find where he is and take care of him and let him out and feed him. Like it's a huge part of my purpose. So I think that he is literally like my child. He's my fur child, you know. And those of you that have pets and have animals, you know that it is truly like having a child, they just have fur, you know. So I think that there's something here with animal healing where it's like you know, spending time with pets, spending time in nature, being around animals can be very inspiring to you right now. And that, from my experience, that is very Neptunian, because it's like kind of like the world at large and like things that maybe we don't understand, but we can feel the energy of, you know, like you can feel the energy of birds when they're singing and they're chirping, even if you can't understand what they're saying, you know, and that's kind of like Neptune, right? It is like that feeling that you get from it. And that in itself is very healing and very knowledgeable without having maybe the exact specifics. So there could even be something about this situation too, where like the more that you surrender into that God consciousness, maybe the more you'll start to get some inklings energetically of what could be going on here, although it might feel very energetic and not necessarily specific. But I think that the energetics could be felt first and then the specifics could come later, if that makes sense, you know. So I'm sending you guys love, pile one. Please drop a supportive comment down below. Let me know how you resonated with that. I love reading your positive supportive comments. Makes me want to come back and record more videos. And definitely, if you did miss the beginning of this video, please go back and watch, because I highlighted a few business updates, including how to check out my Patreon page, a new spiritual curriculum I've got, and a new blog post, which you guys would really benefit from reading that blog post, because I do talk about ways to help support animals in it, actually, especially in the winter time. So definitely check that out. All right, pile two peeps. These are the cards for you. Let's take a look and see what we got. And I am going to pull a couple more cards over here. So pile one had, you know, definitely pretty clear message about the energy, the emotions that are being felt there. So let's see what you guys have. As I said at the beginning of this video, I don't go into these pick a cards with specific intention. I let the card pulls themselves actually show me what. It's funny, I just pulled the same planet from this deck as I did for pile one, and you see I'm really shuffling too. You know, so I don't go in with specific intention. I actually let the cards show me based on the energy of what the topic needs to be about, you know. So let me see, where do I want to begin here? We need to do a quick refresher on this. I'm pretty good with the Lettermond, but just want to double check that I've got this one exactly right. Okay. So give me 1 second. Okay. So we have some interesting energy here for you, pile two peeps. And I feel like I may get more clarity moving forward. I also get the sense I might be doing a shorter pick a card video for this video, which is okay. If you watch especially the beginning, I talked about how many videos I've recorded recently, and it's just been a lot. So, so we have here I just had it and then I lost it. The Garden, card number 20. Yes, Garden. So this card here is showing, you know, kind of like this beautiful yard or garden area, and like there's that sitting bench there, but we always read Lenormand in pairs. Okay, so you do have this garden card, which is related to specifically groups, gatherings, communities. The Lenormand is really weird, the associations it makes. And we have this with the cross card. Okay, so the cross card is indicating kind of like a crisis of faith in many ways, is a good way to interpret that. Okay, and you guys also have the Uranus card here. So there's a lot of energy here about Aquarius, I will say, you know, and with this cross card, there's kind of a heaviness here about where do I belong? It's kind of like the biggest message of this. Where do I belong? You know, where do I belong? And like kind of where are my people? What's the kind of group or society that I should be belonging to? That's like a big part of this here. And with this action card, I see you as being a go-getter. I can really relate to this pile pick. I could relate to pile one. I can relate to yours as well. I see you guys as being a real go-getter. You're definitely someone that, you like to take initiative. You like to take action. You're not someone that kind of sits on your hands like all day. Like you do like to move and do things. And I think that there's some type of frustration here because you're trying to kind of figure out where you should be putting more of this momentum energy in. And I think part of it is just like this kind of journey of discovery almost about who are your people, where do you belong, and I don't think that this journey has quite been easy with this cross card here. There have been some kind of trials and tribulations. I know I can super relate to this with some career stuff. There have been some trials and tribulations in trying to find the right community, the right place for you, if you will. And we have the cycles card here. Okay, so I think that part of the answer to this is that it's almost like you kind of already know where you're moving into, because this action card to me is very like Chariot vibes too. It just shows a lot of movement here. So I think that you've already taken initiative to kind of move into a particular space or belong to a particular group of people. But there might be phases in which, just like that divine feminine energy, it's very cyclical. It's a wave, not a straight line. So there might be moments where you do have doubts, where you do have fears, or you question things. I would say, more so on like the doubt side of it, because if you're feeling afraid being in the group you're in, you obviously want to take some serious look at that. But I see this as more of like a generalized kind of, questioning kind of energy, doubts, worries, anxiety here. This card is, feeling challenged, feeling tested by the universe, and with the cycles card, and I'm going to read from the guidebook for this one because I feel called for this particular one. But this to me is saying that trust the process. You might really want to listen to Adele's song. I think the name of it is Hold On. Let me see. I'm hearing that song as well as Dear Patience by Niall Horan. You might want to check out that one as well, because there's definitely an energy here about needing patience. Okay, I obviously can't play the song on YouTube, but I can tell you what it is. Yes, the song is literally Hold On, okay, by Adele. So and I've watched a lot of interviews that Adele has done when that album came out, and it's really powerful to understand like the energetics and the context around what that album meant for her. And it was a lot of her transitioning out of a divorce that she chose to do, and that she had so much internalized guilt and angst and so much feelings about breaking up the relationship, because she saw herself as someone that was committed. And I'm definitely going to be going over her astro chart, so stay tuned for that. But she saw herself as someone that kind of like stayed the course, but it was just a situation where it wasn't as fulfilling as she thought it would be. She wasn't happy. She's still very good friends with the father of her child, and they co-parent, and it's actually like working really well. But just in that dynamic as a marriage, it wasn't serving her. But kind of that breaking apart, that dissolving process of it was very difficult and had a lot of intense emotions that she went through. And there were times in which she was like, why am I kind of doing this? So I feel like this cycles card is kind of, embracing all of that. It's saying that when you are transitioning into belonging to a new group of people, whether it be in your career area of life, in your relationship area of life, in your friend area of life, if you move to a new area, certainly you go through this as well, there is going to be a cyclical nature to the experience, where you are going to have moments where you feel like, did I make the right decision? Or you might have some of that doubt, worry, and fear come in. And then, the next day, maybe a week later, it depends on like what the situation is, right? But then the next day or the next couple of days, you're flying, like you're in full on action mode, Chariot vibes, like moving forward, and then as cycles do, there will be another wave that comes in of just like, man, I don't know, did I make the right decision? So there's a lot of energy here about embracing that divine feminine nature of things being like a wave, and being cyclical. You can call on Archangel Haniel actually for help, Haniel. You can call on Archangel Haniel for help with managing those divine feminine energies. And she works very well with the cycles of the moon, and cycles there. for me, I'm extremely connected to like that moon energy and like the divine feminine energy because I have a Libra ascendant. I have my moon's in Libra in the 12th house. So I'm very Venus ruled. And also with my moon in the 12th house, it's like spiritually, like I'm super connected to the cycles of the moon. So I'm always, always, always tracking like the placement of the moon and what sign it's in and checking that with my astro. And, you know, I do astrology professionally. So it's also always deepening my work, but I do it for myself as well. You know, I do actually have an offering. I don't advertise it a ton because it's a very specific offering and it is, you know, you got to be in the mood for it. But it's called a personal moon planner. And basically, what I do is I take a look at your astro chart and I go in, and this is available for sale on my Etsy shop. You're also welcome to email me if you have, you know, if you have questions or whatnot. But I go in and I look at your astro chart and I basically write out an entire report. So it's not an auto-generated report. It is a document that you keep, but it's written by me. So it's a customized report of basically all of the 12 signs and those lunar cycles, you know, not saying like new full moon, but when the moon is in that sign, how does that alchemize with your chart based on what's in your chart? Because that's so, so important to understand, like, who are you when it's a moon in Aries versus a moon in Taurus or a moon in Cancer? Because you might change a lot, you know, when the moon is in different signs, you could have different energy levels, you know, and that's why understanding like even moon sign compatibility is very important when you look at relationships and friendships and things, you know, because it's so funny, like just how accurate even just tracking the moon sign alone can be. Just that bit alone can be so, so accurate. So there's an energy here of you needing to witness these cycles and these patterns, okay? And to just be like, okay, just because I feel this way now does not mean that I will feel this way forever. That's like a really important distinction to make here. So I want to read a little bit from the guidebook on this one. So it says, what cycle of life are you in right now? What is the one area of your life where you need to focus most of your energy? Maybe you are completely ready to enthusiastically concentrate on your life purpose and put all your energy and effort into making your dreams a reality. Each cycle you encounter offers you fresh gifts and possibilities to learn and grow. The better you become at identifying the cycle you are in, the more flow and harmony you will experience in the choices you make. Your body is the key to showing you where you are at. Do you have the energy and the vitality to focus on your goals, or are you in a period of healing? Write down what you are experiencing at present, read over what you wrote several times, then give yourself permission to honor the cycle you are in. Is it time to learn or to apply what you have learned? So that's really beautiful. And it resonates a little bit with something I said for pile one, which is that energy of acceptance, you know. So I was telling pile one peeps because they pulled the card, they pulled some cards about, you know, feeling somber, feeling sad. And I was sharing, you know, vulnerably that like today I definitely was confronting some depressed vibes. And part of what helped me to move through that was to say, okay, I accept that this is how I feel right now. I'm not going to try to force it to be something it's not. I'm not going to try to mandate that I fix it immediately. I'm just going to witness that this is how I feel. And I'm just going to treat myself where I'm at with the fact that I feel this way. And I am someone that goes through for sure waves of anxiety and depression, but it's been several, you know, it's been a bit of a stint before I felt that way because I've been kind of going in a particular momentum. So I think that honoring just like how you feel and just acknowledging it is also very important. And that's also part of the story here for you, you know, and just showing up in the way that you feel and being okay with that. You know, like even me recording this video, I definitely have other videos on this channel where I've been like much more shiny and much more vibrant and much more happy and buoyant, right? So, you know, you can go and watch those videos to access that energy. At this present time, like recording this for you, right, you know, within this new moon in Capricorn window, I'm not feeling that way, right? So I'm trying to be authentic with how I feel, which is kind of serious, kind of grounded, maybe almost like too much so, you know, in that kind of critical discerning nature, which is very Saturnian because we have so much Capricorn energy right now. So honoring the cycle that you're in, accepting the feelings that you have about this situation, but in particular, because it's this energy of cycles and we have this test of faith card, just honoring that even if you're having kind of like a crisis of faith about it, we all go through that. It's actually very normal and healthy to have ups and downs in the journey of co-creating something and manifesting something. And even, you know, you could be like the most you know, well-known, like even celebrities have said they've been in a room full of people and they felt really alone, right? So we all go through phases where we maybe question if we belong in a particular space, or we feel like, is this going to work out? And is this going to fit in? Is this going to be okay? I think we all go through that. So just allowing ourselves to just witness and honor, this is how I feel in this moment, but I may not feel this way forever. I may feel different about this tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, you know. So just allowing yourself to kind of let the cycle that it is unfurl, I think will be really, really helpful for you here. Okay. And then we did also pull, or I did also pull from the other astrology deck, Venus and South Node. Okay. So there's definitely an energy here about certain things that you are letting go of. Perhaps there are certain relationships, certain connections, certain partnerships that you're letting go of. But I think that's part of this process of you stepping into this new community. You know, I know for myself, I can really relate to this in career, where, you know, I'm moving into a different space with my career. And even though the previous space I was in, I left a long time ago, there are still some hooks and pulls to that space that still exist, especially because of reminders in my immediate environment. And just like happens all the time, I get reminded of like that old kind of community and group that I belong to, you know? So I think it's very okay to be witnessing like, okay, that was kind of my past, but this is my future I'm moving into. And I will say also, with that Saturn Uranus square we went through in December, you know, they're not that far apart yet. So we're still processing and integrating a lot of what that was about. And especially when we do have major planets like the gods squaring each other like that, that's not a moon transit, you know, that's 2 to 3 days. Like that is energy that's going to take weeks, if not months or longer, for you to kind of unveil and process and move through. Okay. So try to have some patience with the process, but in particular, remind yourself about cycles. Okay. Especially if you are having, the one that fell down was the cross card. So remind yourself about cycles if you are having and going through some kind of tests of faith here. I see it as ups and downs. Okay. But keep going. You have the action card here. So keep at it. Okay. So that's what I have for you, pile of two peeps. Let me also pull a fairy dust card just to round that home. We have Aura Cleanse. When you feel heavy or run out of luck, go swim at the beach and you'll feel unstuck. Love it. So I see this as bring in the water element. Okay. Go in the shower, do a salt scrub, take a salt bath if you can, work with essential oils, go visit the ocean or a lake or a body of water if you can. Okay. But just see what you can do to kind of cleanse some of that maybe stuck energy from your auric field out. I think that would be really helpful. So that's what I have for you. I feel called to cut the deck. I also got creative. Life is a canvas for you to use. Paint all the colors of happy moods. So allowing yourself to get creative. I actually pulled out some of my painting supplies just recently and was like, yes, like this is the perfect time for maybe doing that, you know? So allow yourself to kind of get into that watery flow state, also to move through those cycles, because that is more of the divine feminine energy as well. So that's what I have for you, pile two peeps. Please drop a loving comment down below if that was something that you really enjoyed. And I always love hearing from people how they resonated with it. Also, if you missed the beginning of this video, do go back and check that out, because I go over some business updates, like a new spiritual curriculum I've got for sale, which is great for the new year. A shout out to my Patreon. You can see different memberships I've got there, and a new blog post I've got, which will be featured in the new email newsletter, but you can also see kind of a teaser of it at the beginning of this video. Okay. Okay, pile three peeps. These are the cards for you. Let's see what we've got. So I'm definitely sensing a theme of this particular pick a card video. And, you know, if you missed like the first two piles, you know, some of you I know watch like straight through, which is super cool because you get like the full experience of all the energy, and that can be powerful in its own right. But as I've explained a few times by now in this video, I always let the energy of the cards and what gets pulled determine the theme of the video. I don't actually go into the video with specific intention that this is going to be the topic. I let the cards show me because I'm always recording these based on the lunar cycle. So I let almost like the energy of that cycle, that lunar cycle, show me what needs to be revealed or shown there. Okay. And there's definitely been, some kind of sad, somber, heavier energies throughout this reading. Okay. So for you guys, there's a little bit more of a lightness here, but there's still some notes of kind of heaviness and frustration. Okay, so we do have the patience card here right away, card number 23. This does sum to a 5, which in numerology is about change. So you're impatient for change. You want things to be different than they are now. Maybe you're, not a fan of the winter, or you're frustrated with maybe the season we're in, or just like the way that things have slowed down. There's definitely something here that's like just feeling frustrated with the process as it exists right now. And you know what? It's a huge Capricorn party right now. We're in this new moon in Capricorn cycle for the first 2 weeks of the month. All Capricorn energy moves very slowly traditionally because it's ruled by Saturn. And there can be slowdowns. We're going into winter. So there's, we're in winter, right? So there's things that happen like with the weather that slow us down, that block us, that create delays. And that can suck, it can definitely suck. And also just with this Venus retrograde being in Capricorn, it's like this giant like slog of just like slow moving energy with Venus, which is like doing a ton of like assessing and evaluating and excavating. And it can feel frustrating, especially if you're someone that has, I'm a super Virgo, but I have really strong Libra energy in my chart. So for me, it's affecting me as a Libra square, to that Capricorn, and also my Aries energy is also affected because I also have Aries. So if you have Libra or Aries in your chart, and also Cancer. All right, speaking about impatience, so my dog was barking and I truly had to just stop and wait. And that was that. If you were watching from the beginning, you know that my puppers was like just being puppers at the beginning. But I love him so much and wouldn't change anything for the world. But sometimes you do test my patience. So there might be people that are, just like, everybody's got their own thing going on, and we all have our own demands and desires. And especially with this Venus retrograde in Capricorn, there's a lot of trying to navigate these relationships in a way that may test your patience. It really may test your patience here. And I did also get the Pluto card from the astrology deck. So, I'm not surprised because Pluto is transiting really close to Venus. Okay, it has been for like the second half of December. It is at the beginning of January. It will actually start to subside as we go more into January because Venus will retrograde, but then we'll get kind of another round of it in build up from like late February into early March. And I know this because I went over all of this in detail with charts, with ephemerises in my Astro Fairy membership. So if you want to go deeper with Astro, definitely check out that membership. But there's a lot with this Pluto card of excavating, what's kind of the dead weight, which are the relationships that don't work, which are the relationships that do work, but need more life breathed into them. There's just a lot of like values assessment going on with this Venus retrograde in Capricorn. And this might be stuff that's slow moving. So it does test your patience, From the Lenormand, we have the Key, card number 33. I just love how well these cards come up on camera. It always makes me so happy. And then we have card number 1, Rider. Okay, so the Key card in the Lenormand represents a breakthrough. It's like, okay, what's my key to unlock this new door? What is that like? Oftentimes I interpret this as like a breakthrough idea, but I'm actually kind of interpreting this as like almost like a breakthrough person or kind of connection here. With the Rider card, this is like news information coming in. Okay, so there might be something here where you're waiting on, I know in my case, like I can really relate to this with like client stuff, not with my spiritual business, but with the other kind of part of my life and my career. You're waiting on kind of like that key client, literally key client to come in and kind of unlock a certain door. Or maybe for you, you're relating to this with like relationships or jobs or something. And you're waiting for that like clear job that gives you that real like sense of like, yep, this is the one that's going to open that door, or that relationship that feels like it's the right next step for you, or that person. There's something here that like you're kind of waiting for this door to open. Okay. But with the Pluto card, I think you're getting really clear on your desire for this door. You're getting like, the more time that goes on, it's actually like almost increasing your desire for the thing even more, which in some weird way is like solidifying that it's like actually your thing, that you really want it, and you do have the Sun card here. Okay, card number 1. So this is always a happy card to get in any spread. So I see this as just like a really positive indicator here with all you're going through with these tests of patience, waiting for this person, place, or thing to align, that, there is going to be a happy ending to this. Okay, but you are going to need to be maybe having some patience with the process. Another interpretation of this could be also that this is like Sun Pluto, literally Sun Pluto vibes. Okay, so whenever someone has like Sun conjunct Pluto or Sun Pluto in positive aspect in their chart, it's definitely an indicator that they can have like a stamina, drive, a perseverance to see it through. So I think that this is also saying like, stay the course, if you really believe in this thing that you're tracking towards, this person, place, or thing, stay the course, because either you'll come to kind of the end of that cycle and be like, yep, it was worth the wait, or you'll have learned something from it that you're going to then carry into the next person, place, or thing that you approach. Either way, kind of framing it as like, I'm persevering, I'm staying the course, and I'm going through this, and I win, will help you. Like that expression, like all I do is win, 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 no matter what. That could be like a helpful mantra for you, when you're feeling like you're tested with patience. And as I like to say, and this is always like really helpful information too, for like so much life stuff, like whether you're dating with relationship stuff or dating with jobs, or because we do date jobs, right? We explore, we try different jobs on for size and different things. And likewise with clients or whatever. Anytime that you go into a situation and it's not what you wanted, well, you've got clarity about what you do want more of, right? Abraham Hicks calls it contrast clarity. So going into that situation, having that contrast of what you don't want is teaching you what you do want. And that is a way that you are winning no matter what, right? Because you're learning through that process of like, sifting and sorting. I want this, I don't want this, all of that stuff. Okay. So let's get a fairy dust card for you guys as well. Actually, before I do that, let me pull from this deck also. Funny too, because like I'm chuckling thinking about even, you can apply this to more than one life area too, because I almost was like compelled to like put up a message on like this one profile and be like, no, please, no more people that have this like, feature. And then I was like, well, it is how I feel, but I know that that's how I feel. So sometimes we don't have to always, we get to choose like how much of that contrast clarity we share. But the ticket is, once you've determined that that's what you don't want, don't flip flop on it. Just be like, it's a no from me kind of thing, and stand by that. So we have fire, transforming. So I see this as, you are someone that's very passionate. You're someone that wants to initiate things. We have the Sun card and Pluto. This is like, you have a deep drive. You have a deep well of drive here. I know I can relate to this as well. I can relate to all 3 piles tonight. You have this deep well of drive, which is why this impatience is kind of hurting you, because you are someone that would want to initiate things and kind of move the energy forward. I cut the deck and I also got 9th house. Okay, so that is a Sagittarius house, which is about travel and expansion and just, openness into being willing to explore new things. And that is a fiery kind of house there too. So you're someone that's very open-minded to take on different people, places, and things, to try things out, so I think that quality of yours is actually an asset in this experience, because you're willing to try on different people, places, and things for size, you're going to find that breakthrough. I have no doubt that you're going to find that breakthrough person, place, or thing. It's just occurring at maybe a timing or like a particular path that maybe is testing your patience. And I think a huge part of the story, honestly, is the Venus retro. I really do get that vibe, So we will be in the thick of the Venus retro for pretty much all of January. And then February, it will be direct, but we'll be kind of clearing out the post shadow, and that will take up most of February. So again, just with this impatience, having patience, adjusting your expectations, this might be a little bit of a longer process to get some of this solidified, but that ultimately you're learning along the way. And don't let this destroy your ability to have perseverance and drive, because that's a beautiful quality to have. If anything, see if you can channel that fire energy into maybe other things that you have more control over creating, right? Like going out in nature or exploring things or learning something or creating something, right? Let's get also a fairy dust card. We have courage, young heart. Stand tall. Don't let the love decrease. You are a warrior of peace. So good. So I really, really love that. To me, it's just really solidifying what I just said about like, don't let these blocks, frustrations, things that are taking too long weigh you. I mean, I'm saying don't let it weigh you down, but like if it's weighing you down, don't let that become part of your identity as something that you internalize as something wrong with you, is really what I'm trying to say. You know, you are a warrior of peace. So you are someone that has really awesome, like fire vibes, and you have the ability to persevere and navigate through the situation. Even if your patience is being tested along the way, you are going to get to where you need to get to. It's just occurring in a Capricornian rhythm. You know, we're in a Venus retrograde. We'll be starting a Mercury retrograde in a couple of weeks. So, patience will be required in the process. Okay. But I'll be here for you guys doing pick a card videos to help you keep checking in on, you know, your manifestations and kind of the status there. So please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, drop some love in the comments below. It really, truly, I keep saying this, but I really mean it. It helps me when I come back and record more videos, when I see you guys enjoying the content and, you know, relating to it. And if you missed the beginning of this video, please go back and check that out, because I showed off things like my Patreon where you can join and support my channel, and I have my membership groups on that as well. I've got a new spiritual curriculum up for sale, which is great for the new year, so I showed that off as well. And then I've also got a blog post which will be featured in the new email newsletter, but you can see a teaser of it as well. So please go check that out if you missed that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Much love.